Welcome back on Dynamo. Today I want to propose you a new video about the What's Inside and the White Dwarf May 2018 released by the Games Workshop. This it's an interesting White Dwarf, and as you can see from the cover itself of the White Dwarf, you can see the main part that it's related to this White Dwarf itself, that are the eyedonette Deepkin, so Age of Sigmar 1. But anyway, there are a lot of things to see about. So now we can begin to open it and see what there is inside. Here we can start to see with the White Dwarf team itself as usual, and with the introduction of what it's the presentation of the number itself. Then we can see the contents that are inside the White Dwarf itself, and you can see there are a lot of things inside, so a lot of themes. Then we can flip and we can see these that are the things that are being released this month about the Idonef Deepkin army. And this one, if you want to see the unboxing of this, you can see in the link up here, because I yet done the unboxing and soon I start to make the project itself. So it will require a bit of time, but I released quite a lot of videos about this model and the project that are associated to it. And then we can flip, we can see the new models and the Gloomtide shipwreck that I told you about. And I think that the Idonette Deepkin are both good and bad as models, because there are some models that are quite amazing as these ones, and other models that I don't like too much. Anyway, they are quite interesting ones. For example, this one is really amazing. This one, I don't like them so much, so it's something to decide. And then we can see the new releasing about Warhammer 40k, in particular the Codex of the Death Watch and the Codex of the Harlequins. This one has not been yet released, and this one will soon be released, so they are quite good. And obviously there are the data cards related to it. And also there is a new shiny element that is the Eldari Webway Gate, that it's quite interesting, it's quite nice as a shiny element. Then we can see something about the Blood Bowl, so there are some things news about this, it's quite interesting. Parts about the board gang for Necromunda, so you can see a new book about the gang war. I yet told you that in the previous ones that I thought that there will be released new books about this one to have a corporate of these that are the different factions of the gangs that are inside the White Dwarfs, and now you can see that they are being released, so at least you have in some tomes what you find in the different White Dwarfs, but anyway later, so I think that they are quite good anyway to buy this. Then we can see the licensed games for the principal ones, the new games. So for example, there is the release of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, so we come back to the old section, so the old world with the Fantasy Roleplay. And then we can see, for example, others that are the new games for computers, so for example the Adatus Carnitus, so it's quite interesting. Then we can see, for example, the last for the Forge World. Then we can flip, we can see from the Black Library, and I think that this one about the Morata Mortarch of Blood, it's quite interesting one as an edition. Sincerely, I not yet decided if buy or not it, but anyway, I think that if there will be a collection about it, I'll buy for sure. Now I don't know if buy this one particular one, but anyway, you can see there are a lot of new releasing and something that are going to be released, so it can be quite interesting one. Then we can see the mail about the readers to the White Dwarf itself. Then we can flip. We can see the temporal distort, so it's quite interesting one. We can flick and we see how to construct a Tower Empire army. Here you can see as a suggestions, so it's something that it's a fast suggestions that you can find for the different units that you can find in the Codex of Tau, and now you can find here. so see if you can be interested in. And now we can see the designer notes about the I don't have Tipkin, and I think that they are quite interesting ones. So I suggest you, if you're interested in this army, to read about these, because they can be interesting for you to know how they created some type of ideas, how they realize some type of models. So I think that it's quite interesting one. And then we can see something that are the Heavy Metal Masterclass that you can be interested in, at least to see some effects that are being done in this, and some instruction on how to realize some of these effects. And I think that this it's a quite interesting article for the ones that want to start to paint some particular effects and so on, because they can be really quite interesting ones. Then we can click and we see an army from the collector that it's a quite interesting one, and it's a Detunus Mechanicus one, and it's realized really quite interesting. Even the bases that usually are not so taken in consideration now are quite amazing ones, and they realized quite good. And they also make you see how some modifying has been done, so you can even choose some modifications. So it can be quite interesting one to know and to read, even to have only some idea of how to modify some models. So it can be quite interesting. Then we can see the Golden Demon, some of the models that has been participating in the old Golden Demons ones, and there are quite a lot of nice things to take note, ideas to analyze and so on. This is a quite nice diorama. I think that it's quite good. There are really quite interesting things now here to take note. As you can see, there are a lot of different things. For example, anyway, this one I don't like because okay, the models I think that are painted good, but the diorama itself I think that it loses something. It's not so good, I think. But anyway, it's something that you can see if you can be interested to have some idea to replicate and so on, because there are some dioramas that can be really quite inspiration one for your army. And here we can see, because they are going to exit these codexes, the ones about the Harlequins and the ones about the Death Watch, they are the models that are available to them. So in this case, for the Death Watch, you have to remember anyway that are Marines. So you have anyway the option to take Marines and then take the modifications to play them. But anyway, there are also specific ones. So it's quite good that there are to make you know what there is. And then we can see a battle report that it's about the Taos against the Space Marines. So a battle report again with the power levels. Since I really don't like the usage of the power levels, I say it each time that there is a battle report about the Games Workshop for the Warhammer 40k, but it's such. I don't like the usage of this because I don't think that they are balanced enough. So we can see there are quite a lot of interesting maneuverable and so on, so it can be quite interesting one. And then we can see a second battle report. In this case, if before we've seen about the Warhammer 40k, now we had the one about the Age of Sigmar 1. And in this case, it's about the I don't have Tipkin that this White Dwarf it's related to, and the death with the Legends of Nagash ones. So it's quite interesting one. Moreover, it's about the Grand Host of Nagash, so it's a big ones against big ones. Anyway, there are quite a lot of things, and you can see that there are, but you can see better here, this one. If you remember in the last of the White Dwarfs, the Shanic element that has been presented, and this is the one. So it can be really quite interesting one to see the effect that you've seen in the previous White Dwarf now having on the field the effect of the different element Shanic ones, because you can see that they are quite amazing. So a battle in such of the fields can be quite interesting one for sure. see, you can see a lot of things. So I think that this it's good even if you don't like the battle report, even only to have inspiration how to realize your battlefields, because it can be quite interesting one. And obviously now we can see what it's sold about the I don't have Deepkin. This one I yet bought, and as I said, I have done yet the unboxing, and I have to do the different modification for this thing, but anyway it's quite amazing. And then we have a bit of Hall of Fame with some models that are quite interesting ones to take note. And here it's particular the site of the Archon ever chosen as the model, as the one to suggest it for the Hall of Fame. That it's quite good because it's really nice. And here we have a tale of four warlords as the history that it can continue as the construction of the different armies with the Beastclaw Riders. Then we have the Daughters of Cain, even if I don't like such scheme of colors sincerely, but okay. But anyway, it's not so good, I think, but okay. And the Magotin of Nargor. I don't like the fact that are invested color each one, but okay, it's such. And then we can see a bit of the Legends of Nagash, so it can be quite interesting one. And then we can see a new game that has been released, but in the way that you can play, and it's related to this White Dwarf, because this game it's on the back of the White Dwarf itself, so you can literally play on the White Dwarf. Anyway, it's quite interesting one, and I think that you can try to play it, because it's quite good to try. And you can see there are the rules and so on, so you can really take note about this game. So there are some things to read about such a way, but anyway there are quite a lot of interesting playing, I think. So if you buy this White Dwarf, play this game, because it can be quite interesting one to apply. So now we can continue. You can see again the spot about the releasing of new squad about the Doom Lords for the Beastmen, so take note. And then we can see new rules for the Necromunda ones with the Venator bands, and I think that there are quite interesting ones. So again, if you are going to play Necromunda ones, buy this White Dwarf only because it anyway there will be released new books about these ones, okay. But anyway, if you want to continue to experiment, to try new rules and so on, this White Dwarf itself brings a lot of things to take note, because there are quite a great amount of playing. And then we have a bit of Blanchitsu, and I think that this it's a sort of really a great mine of ways to have inspiration of how to realize models, different ones, to personalize your models, your bang. So you really can have a lot of inspiration seeing these ones. So I always suggest you to, when you find the Blanchitsu, read, but moreover observe quite attentively the images that you can find, because they are quite interesting one. And then we have about the modeling and painting. So now we can see some techniques that you can do, and some of the details that you can realize. For example, this case it's about the I don't have Deepkin, so you can see how to realize, for example, the skin, the different type of blues, and so on. You have a lot of things that you can see, and even, for example, the design, how to realize for the serpentine one, the white or the red. So there are a lot of things that you can really take note about this one and use as a sort of map to see. So I suggest really to take note about this one, because there are a lot of ways to do, for example, how to design. So there are a lot of things really. You even only for the painting guide it's worth. And then again about the new team and so on, but anyway there are a lot of things of how to play, for example the skin, so it's quite interesting one. Now again some spot about the black robbery. I don't like that again and again it's repeated twice. I think that it's too much, so okay. And then we have the reader models. Now in this case I think that there are quite a lot more inspiration that other times. But anyway, there are a lot of analyzing and good things to see, because there are some modifications. For example, these models, it's really quite interesting one as a modification, so there are quite interesting. And some spotlight about a particular reader models. So a reader that has posted quite a lot of things, and it's sort of personalizing one, so it's quite interesting one to see something specific. And then again, some sites relative to the different publications on the internet that you have for the Games Workshop. So take note if you want to have some referring about to find some particular instruction about a game, you can find here. Then again, something about the Warhammer World. Okay, remember that it's only related to things that you can buy in the Warhammer World or in the events that the Warhammer World stuff it's inside. But anyway, it's quite interesting. I still having the okay, soon I'll buy it if I can find, but it's quite nice to see. At least I know that it's made again. Something that you can see about what it will be done in the next White Dwarfs, so you have sort of anticipation that you can find. And then we can close with the game that we've seen before about the Crystal Labyrinth. So now what we can say about this White Dwarf, I think that it's quite an amazing one, and I suggest you to buy it because there are a lot of things if you are interested, because the background about the I Don't Have Tipkin, the designer notes, the Necromunda Gang's new one, the things about the battle report and so on. If you're interested, I think that they are quite good. The painting guides, moreover. So there are a lot of things that there are in this White Dwarf. So I suggest you in this case to buy, because there are a lot of interesting things. Anyway, it depends if you're interested in, obviously. Anyway, from deynontech it's everything. I hope that you liked this video. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to receive the notifications about the new videos that will be released by this channel in the future. I invite you to put a like on this video and see me if there are some things that you want that I change, that some videos that you like that I didn't realize, and so on. From deynontech it's everything. To the next time.